I'm out here in the Mississauga Square 1 area that has so many condos, and as a buyer, you might be confused as to what's a good condo, what's a bad condo. So I want to just talk about some of these condos, not so much in detail, like I'm not going to go really intricate into amenities and stuff like that, but I will tell you which ones I feel are good condos and which ones are not so good condos and why. And we'll have a series and go through a few condos with every video, and make sure you drop a comment if there's some building that you want to learn more about. I'll make sure to get to that. I'm Athar Jafri. I've been selling real estate in Mississauga and the GTA for more than 20 years. And my goal is really just to make things simple for you guys so you make the best decision. So make sure you subscribe. Now, let's get started. This cluster is called Parkside Village. So all these buildings are part of Parkside Village. There's still a few more buildings coming up. You can't really see them, it's a little bit back there, but here you have 4065 Confederation. Now, this one has very good units, but the maintenance here is about like 95 cents a square foot. But I must say the 1+1s, the 1 bedrooms, even the 2 bedrooms, the corner units here, very, very good layouts, no wasted space. That's the most important thing. You can't have any wasted space when you have these condos, because if you have too many curves and like angles, it's not good for you. It really makes the situation harder with your furniture. So out of these buildings, that one is 465, good amenities, and these two buildings both share amenities, and both of them have pretty high maintenance fees. Like, I mean, 95 cents is a high maintenance fee. It should be around like 85 cents or so, okay? And then we have this building. This is actually a different address, although it's off of Confederation. This is Curon Place, because this street here is Curon Place. So that's what the address for this condo is. I still just call it like a Confederation building. This actually has a better maintenance fee. I think it's about 90 cents a square foot, maybe, about 90 cents a square foot. And honestly, a lot of these Confederation Parkway buildings have very similar or same layouts in this cluster you see here. This building, there's a couple more, this one. They're all pretty much the same type of build, the same quality, the same building. Now, obviously, you're gonna see behind me the M City buildings. There's 2 buildings. Remember that if there's 2 buildings and they look the same, they're not managed by the same management. So they will tend to have different maintenance fees. Even though the buildings look the same, their maintenance fees are different. Some people hate on them. I personally think they're pretty good. One has about 90 cents already on the square foot, dollar per square foot for the maintenance fee, and then one is around 75, 78 cents per square foot, roughly. Don't quote me on this, but it's pretty close. And amenities are pretty good. I mean, in these new buildings, you're getting like hotel-like amenities. Now, it's up to you how much you're gonna use them. Like the gym in my building, when I used to live in a condo, I used to use it all the time. I didn't have a pool, but sometimes less amenities is better for you. It means more money in your pocket. And what I mean by that is you don't have to pay too much maintenance fees to maintain these things. The more amenities there are, the more you have to maintain. Now, the thing about these buildings, they have all the same kitchen. Every single kitchen is pretty much the same, just the colors are a little bit off, like the color tones that you've chosen. They have a few different options, but the kitchens look exactly the same. But that's not the problem. The problem is the sink is like a single sink. Like, you put a couple of bowls and plates in there and your sink is full. So the stove is really tiny, the oven is tiny, the fridge is tiny. What I like in these a little bit older buildings is you can get full-size appliances. So full-size appliances, I feel, is very important. Now, if you look over there, you have Exchange District right over there. Now, this is still not completed. That is the building that has a $15 million penthouse. So it's not completed yet, but builders sold these at very high prices. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's a lot of sellers losing a lot of money when they are trying to liquidate it. Now we can go over here. You can see here, this is Duke of York. Let me just make sure I'm showing you guys this way. Right over there, that's 3888 and 3880 is behind that. Duke of York. Now, these buildings, they have all-inclusive maintenance fees, which is very good. Heat, hydro, water, and the maintenance fee, I think, is maybe around 75, 80 cents a square foot, which is amazing, especially that it's all-inclusive. And it's Tridel built, so you got the Tridel quality amenities, lobby. Even though it's an older building now, considered it's an older building, the amenities are top notch. You even have a bowling alley. I don't know if that matters, but this is kind of contrary to what I said earlier, where you don't want too many amenities because it increases your monthly payments, but it is what it is. I mean, if you have it, it's good for you. This one here is 4165, I believe, Confederation. This is a newer building, about a couple of years old, and It has balconies, but a lot of units have Juliet balconies, which personally I think is a waste. The one bedrooms are a little bit narrow, long, and they're still overpriced, I feel, if I'm being very honest with you. The best value in condos is, in my opinion, like 15 to 20-year-old condos in the Mississauga Square 1 area. You're getting many times an all-inclusive maintenance fee, or at least water and heat is included. You got to pay hydro. And the price point is much more affordable than the brand new condos, because a lot of these sellers, they haven't swallowed that price point that they should be swallowing and accepting in order to get it sold. So they're kind of being sticky with what they are choosing to price it at, and it's hard sometimes to negotiate because a lot of these owners of these brand new buildings, they are at a major loss. I'm talking $200,000, $300,000 sometimes, depending on the unit. Even one bedroom units, sometimes they're at a loss of $200,000 in order to send it at market value. So this is 4165 Confederation right here. Let's get a view like that. Pretty cool. It's decent. Another thing I like about the Square 1 area is that you have all these shops downstairs. It's almost just like downtown Toronto on a much smaller scale. That is the vibe that you can get. There's so many more developments to come in the Square 1 area that truly, it's going to be a very walkable neighborhood. You got the LRT, you got the Square 1 district that's coming up just over there. So there is a lot of good things to come for the Square 1 area. In my opinion, if you're looking for that downtown life, and you live in Mississauga and you don't want to move out of Mississauga, this is the best place to get a condo. It's definitely in the Square 1 area. Now I'm walking to two of my favorite buildings. I'm sure I've talked about them before, but as I get there, let me show you what's happening over here. So these are probably some of Mississauga's newest buildings. That's Voya. This one is Voya. These ones are Avaya condos, Avaya 1, Avaya 2, and then the ones with the white are Voya. Again, some of these units, they were sold at like $1,300, $1,400 a square foot. I don't know what people are thinking like when they have to sell it now, because again, I'm very honest with you guys, they're at a huge loss, right? So I sold a couple units in this. The corner units are very nice. Maintenance fees are okay just because it's a newer building. So let me teach you guys something about maintenance fees. In the newer buildings, the maintenance fees may start low, but in the first 5 years or so, that has the best chance of that maintenance fee skyrocketing, going up, and you won't know where it lands because the building itself, it doesn't really know where it has to, allocate the funds properly. They haven't built up the reserve fund. So in the first 5 to 7 years, I would say that maintenance fee jumps up the fastest. Then it kind of levels off when they figured out the building a lot better and they understand it a lot better. But just because in the beginning you're saying, oh, this building has a very low maintenance fee, it doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. And actually, that's why it brings me back to my other condos that are like 15 years old or so. That's a mature building. They know where that money has to be, allocated. They've figured out the lemons of the condo. They fixed a lot of things that needed fixing. So moving forward, those maintenance fees, they may not move as much, or if they do, they stick with the inflation. That's another thing, guys. Maintenance fees, they kind of change at the rate of inflation, increase at the rate of inflation. So during COVID, when inflation was really high, a lot of these maintenance fees, they jumped up like 10, 12%. And now that inflation is a little bit lower, you're not seeing that same jump. It's usually like 2 to 4%. Okay, so this brings me to my next condo. And for today, this will be the last condo. This is 388 Prince of Wales. This is inspired by Chicago architecture. This is a Daniels built condo. It's really luxury inside. It won a Build award for the building itself. Daniels is a very reputable builder, so you can always trust them and their builds, and they build tons of stuff in the Square 1 area, Mississauga, and throughout the GTA. This building has a slightly higher dollar per square foot on the sale in the building on sales, and that's probably because of the building itself. It stands out. There's luxury. It's luxury. As soon as you walk in, the lobby is really grand. And personally, I love the feeling of the building as soon as you walk in. It feels like you're kind of in New York or Chicago. It has that vibe inside. It's not like these typical glass condos that you see everywhere. They even have some argyles at the top. I don't know if you could see it. It's hard to see, but let me see if I could show you guys the argyles at the top. Let's see. Yeah, it's hard to see, but they have the argyles at the top. It gives it a nice little touch. So anywhere you see empty land, there is going to be some development. So this is just kind of like a short introduction or tour of Square 1. There is a lot of good things to come. I'm excited for the LRT. Hopefully it's not ending up to be like an Eglinton LRT project that takes several years, but it's on track to be that same way. If there's any condos specifically that you want me to talk about, go more in depth about, just drop a comment below, and make sure you subscribe. If you're looking to buy a property in Mississauga or Toronto or the GTA, house, condo, townhouse, I got 20 years in the game. I'm sure I can be of help to you. So reach out to me. My phone number is 647-208-9724. I'm Athar Jafri. I'm a broker with RE/MAX. And until next time.